Is it just me? Are you guys seeing this crap going on social media? Hey guys, ECRG here, and today we're going to talk about how social media can stifle your career. Now, a lot of you guys probably have social media, use social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, Instagram, Snapchat. There are a handful of platforms here, and there are some big players, mainly Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, even Google Plus. On YouTube we have to be connected to Google Plus, so a lot of people are using Google Plus nowadays too. But I'm mainly directing this towards Instagram and Facebook, and how this can stifle your career growth. And this is important because social media doesn't seem to be going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to be a part of our lives for the time being, as far as putting yourself out there, as far as I guess showing things to people and your perspective. So it does not seem to be going anywhere. So it's important to understand some of the pitfalls that can happen in social media. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to really talk about specifically how, if you succumb to these pitfalls, you can really stifle your career growth. So the first one we're going to talk about is, this is an obvious one, but posting things that you should not post on social media, like racist comments. That's a surefire way to get fired. Or just like harassing people, any type of harassment or sexual harassment, or just posting things that you would not want your employer to see. And this is a common way for people to get in trouble in the office. They think it's their Facebook page, it's their private page, or it's their Instagram, it's their private page, not realizing that even though it's private, it's public. You post something, it's going to be in there in the internet forever. People are going to be able to come across it. So you just want to be careful with that. Don't post anything stupid, and you will be sure to not get fired from your job, your place of employment. So just err on the safe side. If you're questionable, if you're questioning it, just don't post it, and it'll make your life a lot easier. So that's the first one. Don't post stupid things on social media. Most commonly, racist things, dumb things, etc. You guys know. If there's any question about it, you just don't post it. But this second one is one that you may not realize, and may be indirectly affecting your career growth. And that is, specifically on Instagram and Facebook, people are posting things, and you may be experiencing, fear of missing out, FOMO on travel, / people trying to show off to you in your face. And this is indirectly going to affect your career, because if you watched one of our most recent videos, and we talked about how cash can improve your career, how having the ability to have cash in your pocket, mainly for not having to jump at every opportunity, or to be more calculating in the opportunities you do take, and the ability to take more risk in your career. If you have cash, you don't have to worry about monthly bills. You have the ability to take time off, or whatever it is you want to do, and take a big risk with your career, because you're not worried about the day-to-day money. And social media really has a way of, now everyone is just flexing on everybody, just showing off to everybody, showing off their new car, showing off that fancy vacation they went on, showing off this and that to people. And people, it's easy to get caught up on that, saying like, man, that person's got this, this, and this. I need to go get this and this and this too. And not realizing that social media is really just a highlight reel. That's not their daily life. People go on vacation for like a week, maybe 2 weeks a year. If you live in the U.S., maybe 2 weeks a year. That's really good. And a lot of people will take hundreds of photos of that, and then just post pictures of that throughout the year, making you think that they're always going on these trips. And it's just not true. It's absolutely bogus. And they're lying to you. They're straight up lying to you. So you have to really put that into context and understand that there are very few people in the world that are able to live like that. There are bloggers, there are people that travel, like travel channel people, etc. and that stuff is getting paid for, and they're not coming out of pocket for that usually. So it's easy to get sucked off into that and thinking that I need to be going on a trip every weekend. I need to be doing this and that. I need to buy that brand new car. And that can really affect your career because you don't have those cash reserves to really take the risks with your career because you're risking your money essentially. And I really want to talk about how the travel with the Instagram and stuff, people traveling all over the world and really using that to flex on other people is kind of the new liability that people aren't talking about. Back in the day, people used to buy, expensive purses, the fancy watches, the fancy cars and stuff. But now millennials really want to spend that money on travel. And while we've talked about in previous videos how travel is amazing and you should definitely take advantage of travel when you have the opportunity, but you can definitely do too much. And I want you to keep this in mind. If I were to go buy a girl a brand new purse or some Louis Vuitton shoes, at least if things got crappy, the economy got bad, and I lost my job, I could go sell that stuff and then at least get some of the money back. But you go on a vacation, when that vacation's over, that money is over with. It's done with. You're never getting that money back. And while it's good to have that experience, you've also got to be financially responsible too. And that can really affect your career if you're going out frivolously buying different things because, if your job has to deal with budgets and things, if you can't control your own finances, how can someone expect you to control theirs? So that's one point. And then two, just the ability to be flexible in your career opportunities and take advantage of certain things. If you don't have cash, then you're not going to be able to do that. So really, you got to think about at what point is it necessary for you to take a vacation? At what point is it needed? Are you preventing yourself from burning out, et cetera, versus at what point do you just want to, take the picture for Instagram and flex on everybody just to show that you're there and that you can do it. So key distinctions there you want to think about. But that's the second one, how social media can stifle your career. The travel, the Instagram, getting caught up in all that stuff. And then the third one that can really affect your career is the self-esteem and confidence that it can take away from you and have you thinking that you're losing confidence in yourself and losing your self-esteem. Just remember that social media is a highlight reel. I literally see people that I'm friends with will go someplace, they'll go on a week-long trip, their one vacation, take hundreds of photos, and then release them throughout the year, having you think that they're in these places all the time. And they do it well. I got to give them credit. But just know that 99.9% of people aren't living like that. Unless you're like an entrepreneur and you travel all the time, or a travel blogger, or an Instagram model or something, where these people are getting those trips for free or getting reimbursed for them for whatever reason. The average person is not living like that and is incapable of living like that. You've got to put it in the proper perspective. And if they are living like that, they have $0 in their bank account. I can guarantee you that. Because these trips are not cheap. They're very expensive. No matter all the blog posts you read about that say, how to travel on a budget or how to get this for free. It's not free. There are ways to minimize the expense and to lessen the expense, but you still need cash, and it's still expensive. It's still not cheap, especially if you're in an entry-level position or right above entry-level position, right? And if you've got other liabilities like a car and student loan debt and things like that. So you've got to really put it in its proper perspective. Most people, 99.9% of people, are not capable of living the way social media would have you believe that they're living. So just put it in this proper perspective. And all of these pictures, all these images that we're bombarded with on social media can really have an effect on your self-esteem and your confidence, and that can affect you in the office. If you're feeling bad about yourself, if you're feeling like you're not successful, then that could come back in the shape of lackadaisical effort in the office. And if you're not performing in the office, then you're at risk of potentially losing your job. And if you're at risk of losing your job, then you're not going to progress in your career. So you've got to keep that in mind. Social media is an incredibly powerful tool. a lot of people use it for good. You know, when the hurricanes happened, Hurricane Harvey, Irma, and Maria, people were using social media to help raise money for the people that needed it the most. And you've seen a whole bunch of other causes that people are advocating for, and rightly so. People with big followings advocating for that. And so there's a lot of good that happens with social media. Light gets shined on incredibly dark places because of social media. So I'm not saying it's bad, but you've got to keep in mind that there are a lot of negatives with it as well. And a lot of negatives for the average person, especially dealing with your career and your primary income source. So just wanted to keep that in mind with you guys. Comment down below how you feel about social media. Do you feel like it can help stifle your career? Maybe you've never thought about this before. Comment down below what you guys think and what you guys feel about social media, and we'll respond to you. Go ahead and like this video, share it with all your homies. Love hearing feedback from you guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell right next to it. Would love for you guys to subscribe. YouTube always doing the funny stuff, so hit that notification bell. Excuse me. Email us at eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com. Would love to hear from you guys there. Reach out there. Any inquiries you may have, resume review program, want to advertise on the channel, would love to hear from you. And that's pretty much it for today, guys. Stay tuned for another video coming soon. Take care.